in the 1990 second semi-final. Glenelg by 10 points, 7-9 to 6-5. Melican won the first tap. Geneva around the body, up towards half forward. Thompson, who played a good first half. Here's the chance for Port. Hines, who's got players loose. The player is Brown at half forward, but good defensive action by Glenelg. Here's McDermott, who goes wide to the outer side wing. Christie meets it. Mansell, support coming from Hallahan. He slips over, but had time to recover. Attacking side of centre wing. The lead's on from Fidge. Can he trap it on the half volley? He can. Inside 50, straightens and shoots with his ninth kick. He boots his fifth goal, John Fidge, and Glenelg have their eighth.
Well, what poise from the full forward. Hallahan put the ball well in front of Fidge. He turned inside, evaded Harris. No Port player attacked him. He shot from 40 metres, and number 5 was just a fairly simple matter for the Glenelg full forward, who's in top touch.
So the Bays by 16 points. What a day out for Fidge. Just 1 minute into the third quarter of the second semi. Melican, who's done a good job. Marshall, another touch. Out to the wing in front of the members. Hutton went without it. Chigwidden was tackled beautifully. Smith got it out to Hutton again. Geneva, Williams. Oh, the tackling is superb. Wanganeen was brought down, and Thompson runs away from centre wing, puts it up towards centre half forward, and Fidge over the head. He's got a chance. He's now got Fiarchi to beat, but Fiarchi intelligently very close to the boundary line, and it's out of bounds, left forward pocket. It's 8-9 to 6-5.
The challenge from John Fidge that Fiarchi had been deliberate in taking that ball out was probably correct, but umpire Argent unmoved.
The Tigers by 16. Christie and also Johnston over the top, Phillips. But here's Simons. An outstanding game so far. Inside 50 with his 12th kick up towards full forward. Lamb. No, the player is not Lamb because he's off the ground. In fact, Murphy wrestled to the ground. About 10 metres out from the Tigers' goal. 2.5 minutes third term. A very handy 16-point lead to Glenelg. They're against the breeze in the third term. Johnson up high, couldn't knock it down. Here's Wanganeen. Mansell, Chigwidden kept it in play. Simons running out of room, and his kick was jarred out of play.
Off the boot. So not a lot that the teams have done. Hines is playing up the ground at centre half forward, still attacked by Bartlett.
The Bays by 16 points. Tregenza, who was off the ground in that second quarter. Geneva with a high one. Williams, Marshall from behind. McDermott holding the ball. The skipper has erred. And Williams to take the free kick. Usually a very good player in terms of kicking. 3 against 1 here. Northeast outnumbered. Thompson jars wide. Marshall, lovely hand pass to Chigwidden. Back he goes. Murphy, long kick and goal. 9 goals, 9 Glenelg. Port Adelaide 6-5, and there's a big margin now developing.
Michael Murphy finished off the hard work from Fidge. Marshall the penetrating hand pass. Chigwidden the overlap to Murphy, and as he straightened up, the goal face was open. He made the distance. So ahead of centre, Glenelg more constructive.
And the lead out to 22 points. 9-9 to 6-5. We've played 4 minutes third term of the second semi. Tap won by Melican. Here's Hallahan. Thompson off his half-back line has been dominant. It's up towards half forward. Abernathy, time to tidy up. Good hand pass to Northeast. That wasn't so good to Hutton. And he was tackled well by Hallahan. Gee, the tackling has been ferocious. And Bartlett sees it out of play.
The negative attacking defence of Glenelg has been brilliant.
So the Tigers by 22, and they have first blood in the third term against the breeze. 2 early goals. Here's Thompson. Kick was smothered well by Wanganeen, but it came off his shin, and it's out of play on the fourth.
That's the luck of the game. Chris McDermott Not a big game, but a very hard-working skipper.
8th kick by McDermott. Into the pocket. Big pack, no mark. Johnston. Out wide, Hutton. Round the corner. Thompson. Hand pass across to McDermott. Oh, brilliantly done by the skipper. Right in front of the members. Not a good kick, though, and the big bear has taken it, and that's Phillips. This is his 3rd kick. Away from defence to Johnston, his skipper. And Johnston's kick is smothered. He just took that a little casually, and Simons, who's had a lot of kicks, outnumbered 2-1, but did it well to Melican. He has to go wide. Seabohm, the defender. Even wider, Marshall, who's been a very damaging player. And they are going forward, Glenelg, with a lot of ease. The chance for Jamieson. Oh, there is Chigwidden. Another goal to Glenelg, and Chigwidden gets his 2nd, and it's 10-9 to 6-5.
Constructive football. Seabohm in front of centreman Marshall, who had made space on the flank. Too much time. Put it up high. Mansell with one hand cleared the pack, and Chigwidden, the rover, in the spot for the simplest of goals. Glenelg, the first 3 in the first 6 minutes of the 3rd term.
And the Tigers' running players are really cutting Port Adelaide to pieces in the 3rd term. Glenelg lead by 28. Here's Hallahan in the centre, but umpire Argent in for the bounce. 69 playing 41. We've played 6.5 minutes in the 3rd term, and it really has been an explosive start to the 3rd quarter by Glenelg. McDermott. Here's Dean with space. Ahead of centre. Long kick. Fidge on the long lead. Christie lumbers out, but Fidge has possession. Good shepherd by Christie. He turns and shoots. Murphy in the square. Oh, and it hit the post. Well, things really rolling Glenelg's way. That was just a touch unlucky. Took the off break. And Glenelg 10-10-70. Lead Port Adelaide 6-5-41.
And Murphy just a little unlucky then as Phillips tackled.
29 points this margin, and the Magpies under pressure. Hutton did it well. Lovely pass. Hines in front of his eyes. He's got Hutton again. And Hutton from centre wing. It's a long one. Hodges behind this time. Duthie. No push. Hodges to get the free kick.
Good decision from umpire Mackey. In front, the push was there. Duthie standing, infringed.
4 goals to Hodges. This is his 8th kick. 45 metres out. Kicking to the northern end. A lot of concentration, and he has got it. Oh, they needed that. 10-10 to 7-5. Glenelg lead at the 8-minute mark of the 3rd quarter.
Well, both full forwards have got 5 goals. And that was an excellent passage. A lot of hard work from Hutton. He got clear with the 1-2, put the ball to space. That's where the infringement occurred, and Duthie pushing illegally.
So Glenelg 10-10-70. Lead Port Adelaide 7-5-47. 8 minutes 3rd term of the 2nd semi in the centre. Johnston wrestles but can't gain clean possession. And umpire Mackey will bounce just wide of the centre circle.
And will we get a famous Port Adelaide second half of the 3rd term comeback?
The margin 23. Coming through Marshall. A sweeping hand pass. Tregenza with pace. Also Wanganeen in defence. It jars free to Dean. On the lead is Fidge. And play on the corner. Didn't quite grab it cleanly. It's farmed out in the direction of Phillips. Here's Geneva out towards northeast. The Magpies clear from defence. A sweeping hand pass. The runner Hutton ahead of centre. David Hutton. The lead's on from Hodges. Now lurking dangerously is Wanganeen. It's knocked to the boundary line. Good defensive tactic by Duthie. Will Rowan Smith keep it in play? He does. Back to namesake Darren. He's bobbing and weaving at half forward. He's claimed high. And the free kick to Darren Smith outside 50.
Good run from defence by Northeast, setting up that movement. Here's the tackle, just a little high from Seabohm.
Smith squares it, but a poorly directed kick, and in the way is Alan Bartlett.
Defensive work by Bartlett is good. Duthie. That was his 10th kick by Bartlett, so he's had a big day. Centre wing, awkward one. Murphy went past him and Mansell. Fiachi had a very big second quarter. Chigwidden Was it too high? No, it wasn't. It was holding the ball. Port Adelaide to clear. 10-10 to 7-5.
Well, Port must work very hard and very physically to get back in the game.
14 kicks to George Fiarchi. Hines, no mark. Salisbury, a hand pass through the congestion. Wanganeen with a strong tackle. Seabone, hand pass was loose. It is fast and ferocious up on the half-forward line for Port Adelaide. Seabone is there again. So is Ginniver. Oh, that tackle, just too slow. That was Salisbury. This is Dean. Chigwidden. Western wing into the right forward pocket. 2 against 2. No one able to take the mark. Murphy is there. He's trying desperately to get it out now, and eventually he's bailed up, and there'll be a ball up in the right forward pocket.
Well, Murphy has been the dominant player. Apart from Fidge's goal-kicking ability, he has beaten Phillips hands down, and although he probably hasn't had a lot of kicks, it's been very effective.
Glenelg playing inspired football, lead by 23 points. Here's McDermott, and the tackling has been sensational in the second semi. Mark Williams to northeast, sweeping hand pass to Smith, back to northeast, long. The target is Hodges from behind, nearly on the second attempt. Beautifully read off hands by Ginniver. His 10th kick, first goal, and the Magpies boot their 8th.
The run of Rover, Tim Ginniver. Off hands, northeast, working hard. The hand pass, the overlap, the kick. Good strength from Hodges, spoiled off the head of Duthie. And Timmy Ginniver, the simplest of goals as he ran clear. So the Magpies, the last 2 goals at the 5th and 11th minute mark. Can we see a famous Magpie recovery?
Glenelg by 17 points. 10-10 to 8-5. Second semi in front of a monster crowd here. Perhaps 40,000. Brown. Williams trying to shrug the tackles. He couldn't do so. Dean, a desperate kick. Up to half forward. Mansell gets underneath it. It was Hallahan. Actually was sandwiched as it turned out. McDermott, brilliant vision. He goes wide. Port Adelaide trying desperately to mop up in defence. Jamison, I should say. The kick was smothered. Johnston caught. Holding the ball. The umpire right on the spot. And Simons, who's had a lot of touches. This is his 14th kick. He goes in short into the pocket and Fidge. Nor was it a mark. No, it wasn't.
The elbows and the ball. And I'm sure a replay would show as Argent taps him on the bottom. The ball hit the ground before John Fidge arrived.
17 points in it.
Accurately decision by the umpire.
Hallahan the snap towards the golf course end, but all the Magpies back there in defence. Phelps bounds away, looks for the run of Tregenza, opposed to Simons. Tregenza, good take at full stretch. Long kick to Ginniver at half forward, opposed to the opposite number 2 in Ross Gibbs. Here's Seabone, but the boundary line will win out at right half forward.
And Simon Tregenza, that right thigh heavily strapped, obviously a corky and limping, but made good pace for that kick.
The Tigers by 17 will play 14 minutes third term. Bartlett did well. He's been a good player in defence, Alan Bartlett, with 11 kicks, and it's out of play on the outer side centre wing.
Now, Coach John Cale, of course, has to take this risk, must win the game and give Simon Tregenza a spell. But if they have to play again next week, he would be at risk.
Milliken to McDermott, to Bartlett. A high one. Murphy coming in late. Good mark taken by Christie. Now Chigwidden. A drop punt. Looking for Fidge, and he's got it. Oh, he's about to run into the open goal, and he has not missed. 6 goals to Fidge. 11 goals to Glenelg. It's 11-10 to 8-5. 14 minutes gone, third quarter.
And that man, Nicholas Chigwidden, who's been a real spark for Glenelg, put the ball in front. Again, the familiar use of the body as Fidge shrugged off Harris inside the last defender, chipping forward for number 6. A brilliant performance by the blonde-headed full forward.
And the margin 23, 11-10 to 8-5. This has been a great third term by Glenelg. The bounce in the centre. Johnston versus Milliken. Here's Johnston again in the centre. Knocks it wide. Comes out towards the direction of Tregenza. He pops it up to half forward. Brown versus Gibbs. Bartlett from the side. The ball is loose at right half forward for the Magpies. Bartlett first there. Needs support. Gets it in the form of Gibbs. He's as cool as you like, Ross Gibbs. Around the body. Oh, big mark taken by Tony Simons. Nearly best the field. Sweeping hand pass to David Marshall. On the bounce. Here's McDermott. Long to left half forward. In front, Christie. Gets on with it quickly. The lead's on by Fidge. One out versus Harris. Knocking it wide was Phelps. Here's Northeast and the Magpies clear.
And the half-back flanker with a long spiral screw punt to left half forward. Thompson and Duthie. Duthie runs onto it. He needs support. Hand pass was smothered. Thompson is in late. And also Wanganeen. No, it's Hutton. And there'll be a throw-in at left half forward. 11-10 to 8-5.
The work rate high.
Clayton Lamb.
The test.
Sorry, Darryl. Clayton Lamb on crutches. Not there, but he was earlier. So he obviously won't take any further part. There's a push. Port Adelaide's free kick. It goes to Williams. That's Mark. Long one. Smith the target this time. Williams runs into the open goal, swings it round, and he has missed. He didn't bring it round far enough.
14 scoring shots to 21. Glenelg, dominant. Their little runners have created havoc.
And they lead by 21. Gibbs, familiar pose, kick to himself. Draws the player. On the outer side there is Milliken. Good evasion for a big man. Got around Hodges. Chips in short. Murphy opposed to Greg Phillips. It's been a good contest all day. Michael Murphy with his 8th kick. In fact, his 9th. Looks to Simons. Here's Marshall.
Wow.
Leg. Will he get the free kick? No, play on the call. It's on the outer side, half forward flank. Marshall gets it back. Put out the elbow. Kicks longer. Centre half forward. Mansell breaks. And he marks inside 50.
Must play on quickly. A good mark against Fiacci, but should play on quickly.
He's just outside his range, Darren Mansell. They lead by 22. His 3rd kick. No leads forthcoming now. There's one short as Simons breaks into the space. And they've done it well all day.
Bit of indecision from Mansell. He had Christie in the square alone. Fidge on the lead, but sat through the action, and then Simons popped up. So Tregenza, or now it's Tregenza is wide, Hutton is on the mark.
And Tony Simons, his 15th kick, midway through the 3rd term. Fine performance. Back into the senior side from 40. He fires at goal, and it's just offline. 11-11-77, Glenelg. 8-6-54 Port Adelaide.
What a brilliant move by Corns to bring Simons on in this game, Darryl.
Well, we highlighted that in the first 5 minutes, Mark, his experience. But, of course, Tregenza a little unlucky with that cork thigh.
Fiacci and Mansell, and Simons picks up, gathers nicely. He's got to get around his opponent, Tregenza. Does it okay. Now Marshall, who's had a lot of kicks. That kick just a little bit too far for his teammate. Picked up by Wanganeen, left footer, away from his defensive half-back line. It wasn't good, and Jamison has it. Infield he goes. Long hand pass by Seabaum. Oh, here they go again. This is Milliken, who is having a big game. He was looking for someone up forward, but just dropping short there. And the mark taken by the defence of Port Adelaide. This is Wanganeen again, away from the back pocket. Not a good kick. And Murphy hit him right on the chest. It was a beautiful pass, but not intentional. 10th kick coming up for Murphy. Fidge, 2 to beat. Still in play. Oh, slipping over there was Wanganeen. Murphy with a strong tackle. Throw. And Murphy to get the free kick.
Well, if anything has been important, it's been the strong, aggressive tackling demonstrated by Murphy.
He thought about squaring it. He's 60 metres out, too far. 11-11 to 8-6. 77 to 54. Long kick by Murphy. Mansell. Almost. And Harris just waiting at the back has taken it.
He looks out wide. Run provided by Fiacci. The target, Tregenza. Fiacci's 14th kick. Simons marks on the Marshall. Glenelg have loose players everywhere and half forward. Gibbs well down from his back pocket. Long to the square. Christie one-on-one. And he kicks it through. Gary Christie, his first. And Glenelg boot their 12th.
Well, a poor kick again from defence. And Simons on the back play to Marshall. Wide was Gibbs. He went for the goal. And in the square opposed to one Port Adelaide player, I think it was Phelps, Christie off hands, and the boot came up.
It's a 29-point margin now. And Port Adelaide, for the first time in many weeks, are under a lot of pressure. They've been under pressure off the field. They now face pressure on the field. It's 12-11 to 8-6. Hutton. Hallahan. Brown into his back. A lot of players around the football. And the Port Adelaide bench warming up.
Boyd warming up.
As Boyd is getting ready to come on. 20 and a half minutes. Just a little further than that. 20 and 3/4 minutes into the third quarter. Brown with the free kick. This is his sixth coming up. Left footer. A pretty good one towards centre half forward. Bartlett, oh geez, done well. Wanganeen out wide to Fiarchi, the back pocket player. He's about to set something up. The door opens for Port Adelaide. Into the pocket, it's very wide. Seabohm able to mop up easily. Back to Gibbs and out of trouble again.
And Glenelg to the grandstand side. Chance here for Salisbury. Darren Smith first to it. Does he keep it in play? He does. Outside 50, the foot pass through two players' hands. Johnston tackled beautifully. Wanganeen 20 metres out, and he misses to the far side. So Port Adelaide 8-7-55, Glenelg 12-11-83.
Unfortunately, that's Wanganeen's third error for the quarter. He had two poor kicks to Glenelg, and that shot, he did not straighten his body. It just shows the pressure that the quick tackling Glenelg side have applied.
83 playing 55. The Tigers hold sway. Here's Seabohm in defence. The margin 28 points. Seabohm kicks the grandstand, the outer side centering, I should say. Christie, oh, good chip pass in the path of Marshall. McDermott over the ball. A congestion of play on the outer side, half forward flank for the Tigers, and the bounce will occur.
So what can Port Adelaide do? Johnston's off. Boyd will come on for a run. Hard work for Big Ruckman today.
And hard work for Port Adelaide. They trail by 28 points. And the Bay's into attack again. Phelps, one of the tall players on the ground. Little short pass is good to Brown, who dropped it. Marshall, a very dangerous player. Northeast. Hand pass, it was blind, it worked out okay though. Wanganeen infield, he goes to Ginniver, and Ginniver setting up a long kick to Hodges, and he's got it. No, he missed it. Well, things just not working Port Adelaide's way as Thompson comes away with it. Almost into the middle. Hines, Chigwitten, beautifully done to McDermott. They're setting something up again here, Glenelg. McDermott to Mansell. Yes, no. Fiarchi brought to the ground. He's done particularly well. He cuts across. He goes looking for Abernathy, and he has him. The half-back flanker. A little short pass to Hutton. Very late Salisbury. Hand pass across to Ginniver. He's got a lot of problems as Salisbury tackles him. Now Hutton. No support. And Glenelg about to go forward again. Now, hello, what's happened here? Holding on, and the free kick to Port. It'll go to Hutton.
Defensive side of centre wing. Looks in short for Brown. The Magpies will need to develop here. Outside 50, Ginniver runs long to the square. Hodges, yes. Mark behind Duthie, who's remonstrating with the umpire.
Well, it did use his body. Pushed off Duthie, but too strong. So Scotty Hodges almost, yes, on the edge of the square, should convert for his sixth.
He's got 5 goals. 9th kick coming up for Scott Hodges. From the goal square, he puts his 6th on the board. And the margin edged back somewhat. Port Adelaide, 9-7-61. Glenelg, 12-11-83.
Well, they worked hard. Dean is coming off for Glenelg. On goes Bow. David Brown had time to straighten up, set up the play. Ginniver put the kick one out with Duthie and Hodges, and the strength of Hodges one out.
5 goals to 3. Glenelg in this quarter. 12-11 to 9-7, but Port have got the last one. 12-11 to 9-7. Back in the centre, 22 points. This margin. the bays in front. Hines, Boyd. Oh, that was beautifully smothered. It ricochets out wide to the eastern wing. Tregenza. Short pass is good to Geneva. Hand pass across to Harris, who's a long, long way down from full-back. Hodges from behind. Wanganeen at the back, waiting. Out of bounds, right forward pocket.
A little revival from Port Adelaide. Into time on now by 15 seconds. John Cale at ground level. And the Port Brains Tusk know they're under pressure, but they're coming back.
Tigers by 22. Here's Seabohm. Hand pass to McDermott. Backtracks. Bartlett. He could be caught and is. And that is a dangerous tactic in front of goals to start swerving and bobbing. And he pays the penalty.
Inside, outside. Well done, Boyd. And he will kick from about 15, nearly 20 metres, angle 45 degrees.
Russell Boyd, his 60th senior game. 15 metres out, he chips and goes. His third kick for his first goal, and Port Adelaide boot their 10th. The Magpies 10-7-67, trail Glenelg 12-11-83.
The last two goals have been very important to the Magpies. McDermott was forced to go backwards to Bartlett, and he didn't get rid of the first one. Paid the penalty, and it's 5-4 favouring Glenelg. The breezes almost stopped. It's slightly to the Port Adelaide end.
And Glenelg lead by 16 points. A minute and a half into time on in the third quarter of the second semi-final. McDermott to Marshall. Chigwidden, a very wide hand pass to the very dangerous Simons. From left half forward to Fidge. Mansell. Well, while Fidge was being held on to, Mansell has taken it on his chest, and the free kick will go to Fidge.
Well, the focal point of the game has been both full forwards. Mansell was there, but Harris had pinned Fidge.
6 goals so far to Fidge. 13th kick. 12-11 to 10-7, 27 minutes. He'll kick from about 45 metres to the southern end. Distance won't be a problem, nor should the accuracy. The kick is long, but it is not accurate, and it's a behind to the left-hand side. So Glenelg 12-12-84, Port 10-7-67.
Well, Fidge is human. Very few errors from the full forward.
Phelps to the grandstand side, northeast. In front of Bow. It's loose. Hallahan runs in. Good hand pass, sets up McDermott. Good evasion by the captain. Long to the pocket. And Murphy on the second attempt. He marks inside 50. 7th mark to Michael Murphy, so he's been a dominant force up forward.
Now this will be a difficult shot. The breeze from right to left. 7 shots, or 7 kicks for Murphy. 12 kicks for Murphy.
And he shoots from 45. Has to favour the right-hand post, does so, but the ball hooked around somewhat. Was there a mark on the goal face? Yes, there was. At the back, the mark to Melican.
High in front, opposed to Phillips. Too much height. It was a very quick decision taken by umpire Laurie Argent.
And Melican is tucked away on the angle in the left full forward pocket. 10 kicks, his 10th coming up. Chris Melican. 67 playing 84, the Tigers lead. This will be a very important shot. We're approaching three-quarter time. The Magpie cheer squad behind Chris Melican as he bends it back and he kicks a goal. That is brilliant work by Chris Melican. And Glenelg boot their 13th.
Christopher Pelican Melican uses the check side kick with the left foot. Brings it back like a boomerang. And the goal on the board is the 6th goal for Glenelg for the quarter. And they move on to a 23-point lead.
After an interview yesterday, Melican conceded his form last week wasn't good, but he's really turning it on today. Excellent goal he's taken. Taken some big marks and had a lot of kicks. And they're going into attack again. Bartlett up to right half forward. Murphy no mark. Mansell. Chigwitten. He's got Bow if he wants him. Round the corner he goes. An awkward kick. They're under a lot of pressure, this half-back line and defence of Port Adelaide. No mark to Christie. Thompson tackled. Dispossessed. Port Adelaide now with the numbers. This is Williams, defensive side of centre. A long one. Looking for Hodges. Over the top. No mark taken. He was sandwiched. Rowan Smith has had a very quiet one. Bartlett's got him. Now Bow. Hand pass to Duthie. Half-back line now over the wing. But just falling into the space is Tim Ginniver.
Phelps is the centre half-back. Phillips is the full-back.
And at three-quarter time, a big quarter of football by Glenelg. They lead by 23, 13-12, 90. Port Adelaide 10-7, 67. We now move ahead to the 3-minute mark of the final term, and the Tigers lead by 22. Big pack of players around the ball. Murphy, Wanganeen intercepts beautifully. Had a pretty quiet day, the youngster. His 9th kick. And the mark in defence to Ross Gibbs. Gets it back from Milliken. Long to centre half forward. Mansell. Here's Abernathy. He's ridden into the ground as Ginniver sweeps it out wide to Fiacci. He's got to contend with 2 players and gets around them beautifully. Sweeping hand pass. Finds Mark Williams. He'll go long. The target, Hodges. Oh, what a mark by Hodges. He's been renowned for those one-handed spectacular grabs.
Dropping back behind the height of Bartlett, kept his eyes on the ball, and Argent was in position to pay the mark.
And he's kicked 5. His 10th kick coming up, Scott Hodges. He'll shoot from 45. Tumble punt kick. But it's true. And the Magpies boot their 11th. The margin back to 16 points.
Well, he's what they need at centre half forward. Fiacci worked the miracle, beat 2 players. Mark Williams, who's been pretty quiet, perhaps the heat for the senior citizen. And dropping back, just a subtle use of the hands and good concentration saw Scott Hodges take a well-earned mark.
That's certainly set the cat amongst the pigeons. 13-12 to 11-8. 4 3/4 minutes last quarter of the second semi. Hallahan battling hard. McDermott is in there as well, and there'll be a ball up. Umpire Laurie Argent coming across, and he'll ball it up alongside the centre circle. 13-12 to 11-8. 5 minutes. Bow up to the right half forward line, over the head of Mansell and Fiacci, and the ball tumbles over the line between the half forward line and that right forward pocket.
Can the Magpie come back? You never ever trust a wounded bird, and the Magpies are famous for last-minute comebacks.
They have to make up a 16-point margin. Comes wide to Marshall. Here's Ben Harris in defence for the Magpies. He steadies, looks in towards Darren Smith in the centre, opposed to Seabohm. Tregenza's beautifully tackled, and the pressure is enormous out there. A big crowd here at Football Park, and Glenelg holds sway by 16.
The next goal is critical. Port Adelaide must kick the next goal.
Attacking side of the centre for the Tigers. Mark Williams pops it up to right half forward. Boyd versus Thompson. It's knocked to ground. Bow comes in hard. Also Seabohm needs support. Gets it in the form of Robbie Thompson, who's played a good game on his half-back flank. His 14th kick. Marshall long to half forward. At the back of the pack is Fiacci, who's tackled beautifully. He's caught holding the ball. The free kick out there to Darren Mansell. Now he'll be looking for John Fidge. Has to shield his eyes from the sun. Fidge makes the lead now. His 4th kick, Mansell. The foot pass ends up with Ginniver.
Now Tregenza. Oh, that hand pass was not good. But as it turned out, Tregenza redeemed himself superbly. That's the sign of a champion. Have a look at him go. Now he gets caught. McDermott. Gibbs. High one to right half forward. Melican. Oh, he's been paid the mark. Now Bow. Hallahan went past him, northeast. Hutton on the outer side at left half back. Short pass to Brown. He's got him. Gibbs stands the mark. Brown looking for options. 8th kick coming up. A 30-metre drop punt. Hines. Defence of Glenelg pretty good from behind. Now Bow round the corner. Over the head of Brown. Melican. Chance now for the Bays as Melican lets go, looking for Christie, but Harris is there and takes a strong mark.
Left half back transfer play out wide. The target is Johnston. He has to contend with Jamison, who's got the pace advantage, but good work by Johnston. Fidge is tackled. He'll get the free kick. With the breeze, the lead's on in the pocket from Murphy. He's booted 6, John Fidge. Now Marshall breaks in the pocket and he picks him out well.
And good control of the ball by Glenelg. Fidge could have blasted. No one was in the square to receive. And Marshall, who has played wide of centre to the spaces, in for 23rd kick.
It's been an outstanding performance by David Marshall. He has to favour the right-hand post. Left half forward, lets fly for goal. It's coming around, but not enough. And a behind score, Glenelg 13-13, 91. Port Adelaide 11-8, 74.
Which is 19 scoring shots to 25. Glenelg a little inaccurate.
17 points this lead. Hutton, far side, eastern flank, short pass to Harris, who he's got it. Had to stretch every fibre. Northeast, by hand to Geneva, back to northeast. Now Tregenza, and they build with confidence. Not a good kick. Off Williams' chest. Good enough to get away with it. Brown, intelligent. Gains about 15 metres. Duthie caught. Too high. Too high, the umpire says. Duthie takes the free kick. Changes direction. Good mark. Chigwidden with a lot of courage. Williams stands the mark and Chigwidden races away into the centre. Salisbury.
Oh! Well, that's the courage of Scott Salisbury. He kept his eye on that ball, saw the opponent coming, and went down with the ball.
He may as well have run into a truck. That was Ben Harris who he ran into. That's his 8th kick. Salisbury. Fidge. Excellent body work. Judged it superbly, Darryl.
Well, I think he realised that Phillips would be too strong for him, so he timed it very late and then quickly snuck in front.
13-13 to 11-8. 91-74. 6 goals to Fidge as Phillips has hands on head. This is his 15th kick. 9-10 minutes gone now, last quarter. So Fidge would be 55, 60 metres out, but he's confident. It's a massive screw punt. That is very long, not quite long enough, and the mark is taken by Fiacci. And what a game he is having.
Last line, the back pocket player should be the last man.
17 points in it, Fiacci out wide. The target was Abernathy, scooped forward, but it's out of play. 15 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
Almost 11 minutes into the last quarter. Port Adelaide needing to run. They're not winning in key positions.
And Coach John Coe will be a worried man. Here's Stephen Williams in defence, Hallahan. And the players like Hallahan and the running players, Simons in particular, really cut Port Adelaide to shreds.
Marshall in the centre, Simon centre wing. Chigwidden, when he came on, he went berserk in the 3rd quarter and led with example.
It's at right half forward for the Tigers. 17 points the margin. Over the ball is McDermott. Great body work. Ends up with Salisbury. Chips in towards the space. And making space with Michael Murphy, who's booted 2.
Well, they're not using the ball when trying to get in close. The last kick from Fidge was from 60, 65 metres. Now Murphy will kick from 50, and he's got the wind at his back, but he would be tiring.
And Murphy taken 9 marks for the day. Coming up for his 14th kick, Michael Murphy. He's taking his time as Salisbury breaks it right half forward. Murphy, breeze at his back, will kick from 50. Lets one fly. Good looking kick by Michael Murphy. And Glenelg boot it clear. They boot their 14th. And the margin a whopping 23 points.
Well, Murphy kicking his 3rd goal. It was a good 50, 52 metres. Now he's been a key player. Centre half forward is an exceptionally difficult position to play. He was opposed in the first half of 2.5 quarters to Greg Phillips. Too mobile, too tall, and a really critical player for Tigers.
It's a 23-point margin. Glenelg 14-13, Port 11-8. And time now is running out. Thompson, McDermott. Out very wide. Jamieson should get this, and does. Plays on quickly. His 7th kick, inside 50. Fidge on a long lead. Christie was there as well. Wanganeen tackled, brought to the ground and dispossessed. And there'll be a ball up inside of the Glenelg 50 half circle.
Well, the speed of the tackle has kept the smaller Port Adelaide players unbalanced.
So a lot of pressure here, particularly if you're a Port Adelaide supporter. Well, that looked a little high, and it was. And Mark Mackey right on the spot, and the free kick is going Glenelg's way. It'll go to Jamieson.
Jamieson started at half-back, has been at half-forward since Clayton Lamb went off. He is an exceptionally long kick. He's been in fine form this year and should make the distance.
Handy player to switch to half-forward, Darryl.
Well, he started his junior football there, began league football as a wingman, and now has moved to defence.
He'll kick from about 50 to the northern end. He's got the breeze at his back. That's a pretty good kick, but it's not quite accurate enough. It just misses to the right-hand side. So Glenelg 14-14, 98. Port 11-8, 74.
The margin 24. Phillips goes short. Tregenza looks long. The target, Mark Williams. Good commitment. He went to play on, then checked his movement. Now plays on for his 14th kick into the centre of the ground. Chance here for Foster. Oh, but great body work by McDermott. He does that so well. Earns many free kicks at the base of tacks, Chris McDermott. He'll kick from the attacking side of centre. In fact, the hand pass over towards Gibbs. Tumbles it up towards half forward. The fly from Christie as Fidge concedes ground. Murphy inside 50. Left footer to the square. Mansell. Bow, and Piachi will clear. With his 20th kick on towards Brown. Inside his defensive 50. 2 bounces. Make that 3. Lost it now, David Brown. Lost a moment of concentration. And Russell Boyd, a good mark at centre wing on the outer side. He plays on. Foster provides the run. Good evasion by Richard Foster. Got a hurried kick to half forward. Hodges spilt really what he should have taken. Boyd was tackled high. Going in hard is Mark Williams. And things going Glenelg's way as Gibbs clears towards the grandstand side in front of the adoring members. And Glenelg 14-14, 98. Port Adelaide 11-8, 74.
Well, the duck was a little bit high and the umpire would not play the free.
15 minutes, last quarter. Tregenza. Hodges showing a bit of pace and then caught. Hand pass to Williams. Can they set something up? Williams falls on his face. Ginniver evades, does well, has a shot. Hines in the goal square. Knocked away by Duthie. Well done, Seabohm. Hines runs at him. Seabohm has to get the hand pass away and does it quickly to Marshall. Another hand pass by Marshall. This is Salisbury. The crowd love him. Long one. Christie! Oh, yes!
A very constructive player today, Gary Christie. Too tall for Fiacci. Too mobile for the Port Adelaide defence.
His 7th mark. 14-14 to 11-8. Short. Poor checking Port. Straight into the skipper's arms, and Darryl, he wasn't going to let go of that.
Well, it does 2 things. The seconds tick by. It puts McDermott closer to goal. Not the best and most accurate kick in the Glenelg side, but about 40 metres out.
14-14 to 11-8. 16th kick for Chris McDermott. Long kick is good. And the crowd respond. And now Port Adelaide have enormous problems. It's 15-14 to 11-8 and Glenelg looking good.
Well, the mark to Christie showed the balance of the Glenelg side, kicking out quickly to McDermott, and that shot, a brilliant shot for goal. His first. 31,489 people have enjoyed the Tigers' supremacy.
And the margin out to 30 points. A free kick in the centre, so things going the Tigers' way. Melican ahead of centre, tumbles it up towards half forward. Phelps comes out, but he spilt what he should have taken.
Yeah.
Swooping on the loose ball is Simons, who's been a great player on his centre wing, but it came unstuck on that occasion. Foster, the short pass in the path of Ginniver, who's got the run of it. Hallahan bearing down as he chips in short on the outer side centre wing and finds David Hutton. They trail by 30, time running out for the Magpies as Ginniver runs ahead well. He tips in towards the space, but the defensive Gibbs stood too strong, and a good mark in his back pocket. His 20th kick onto Bow, out wide. Target is Chigwin. Good aerial work by the Rover. Salisbury runs into trouble. Wasn't the best of hand passes. Foster, and the ball recalled back. So the Magpies defensive side of centre wing. Possession with Hutton. Up towards centre half forward. Bartlett, some heavy body work. Comes out wide. Stephen Williams battling with Ross Gibbs. Good work by Gibbs. Ginniver tries to spin out of trouble. It's loose. Here's Northeast. A hurry kick in the direction of Darren Smith. He takes a belated mark. Tregenza onto Hines. A walk-in goal for the Magpies. And Hines boots his first. And the Magpies kick their 12th.
Well, a little belated perhaps. Northeast with strength, put it high. Darren Smith has been virtually unsighted at the back of Seabone, passing off quickly. Tregenza to Hines, and David Hines kicking accurately for his first. They're back within 24 points. 5 straight kicks for the Magpies to win.
And we've seen them do it before, Darryl. They're not out of this.
Not out, but getting awfully close.
15-14 to 12-8. 19 minutes gone, so perhaps 10 minutes or so left in this second semi-final, with the winner to go into this year's grand final. And there'll be another ball up.
Well, Glenelg were always confident that they were the fitter team, and the little men have shown the run that they've been a very balanced team.
24 points this margin to Glenelg, and they set it up in that third quarter. Ginniver, a lot of Glenelg players there. One of them is Marshall, who's played magnificently today. McDermott also, and there'll be another ball up. 15-14, 104, 31,000 here. Thought there might have been a few more than that, but the official attendance just over 31,000. 15-14 to 12-8. We're approaching the 20-minute mark of the last quarter. Williams had 3 or 4 bites at that. Bartlett, Hodges, a sweeper, and now Boyd round the corner. Has he brought it back far enough? No, he hasn't, but only just missing it. Hit the post, and that could have quite easily have been another one to the Magpies.
Well, he worked hard to get wide, but he was forced onto the left foot by Thompson. Gibbs and the Glenelg players will be pretty happy to slow down and waste as much time as possible.
The Tigers hold sway by 23. Gibbs goes short, finds Simons. Numerous kicks for Tony Simons today. His 18th. And defence has to tangle with a streamer. Looks out wide, Melican. This is loose checking by Port Adelaide. He'll draw the player. Runs provided by Bow. He'll run away from half-back. Too much pace for Mark Williams. He goes long. The target, Christie in front. Behind is Fidge. Ben Harris will mop up. The hand pass was loose. Fiacci also in the way was Murphy. Was at right half forward for the Tigers. And the bounce will occur. Pretty happy coach Graham Corns. His side is up by 23 points. And they look certain to, well, almost certain to go through to the 1990 grand final. Right half forward, Mansell. A quick kick, but only as far as Ben Harris, who looks for options. Backtracks to Fiacci. Magpie defence messing around. Here's Hines. Over the top to Foster, who's got a bit of toe too, Richard Foster. Defensive side of centre wing. Looks up towards Russell Boyd. Further afield is Hodges. He's wrestling with Bartlett out there. It's fed wide. Hutton into the pocket. Chance here for Johnston, but he overran it. And mopping up in defence is Ross Gibbs.
And we've seen that so many times before, David. This defence of Glenelg has done particularly well today. One of the major differences. Well, Salisbury messed that up just as I speak. Tregenza got around 2 and will probably kick a goal, and he has got it. So just as you give them a rap, they make a mistake. And you can't do that against the Magpies. Tregenza gets his first. It's 15-14 to 13-9.
Well, it's come at the 22-minute mark. Salisbury was clear. Used Seabone. Just the knee in the way. And the injured right thigh of Tregenza still permitted him to kick accurately.
So the Magpie supporters rally, just 17 points in it. Will they have time to fight back? We've played 23 minutes final term. Knock on by Marshall. Here's Foster. Up towards Hodges. Good knock on. Going in hard, Ginnivan. Almost a throw out of the pack. It's jarred wide. Mark Williams onto Brown. Bouncing his way inside 50 and he goes. David Brown puts the Magpies 14th on the board. And the margin is edged back to 11 points.
Well, 3 goals in 4 minutes. This one, Foster bursting forward. Hodges couldn't take. Forced forward by Ginnivan. Mark Williams gave it to David Brown. They were inside the defence and they're still in with a chance.
And within a twinkling, the Magpies have the opportunity to steal this second semi-final. Just 11 points in it. Chig Whitten with a wild hand pass. Left footer by Simons, who's done an outstanding job today after spending 2 or 3 weeks in the seconds. It's at left half forward for Glenelg, and 31,000 people here watching this excellent game of football. 15-14 to 14-9. Another goal now by Port Adelaide would make it more than interesting. It's out of bounds. Time ticking away. 24 minutes gone. And John Cale, Darryl, he must know he's got a chance now.
Well, still at least 5 minutes to go. It's only 2 straight kicks in it.
Christie through the congestion somehow. Chig Whitten had Hallahan. Goes shorter. It goes longer, I should say. Fidge. Fiarchi. Geez, played a good game. Mansell on his hammer. Fiarchi and Mansell and Fidge. He's outnumbered 2 to 1, so he has his problems. Holding on. No. Umpire says no, and Port Adelaide out of trouble, but for how long? Marshall is over there. Needed support. Bow is over there as well, and they tied up at right half forward.
The little things count as the time ticks away. It's the defensive side, Glenelg. Both sides still plenty of run, but Port need to carry the ball.
And we're approaching time on final term in the second semi. 11 points in it. The Tigers lead. Murphy in defence. Bow over the ball, and another bounce will occur. In fact, the attacking zone of the Tigers, right half forward.
As we enter time on, there were 6 goals kicked for the quarter. Little time wasted, so we can expect about 3 or 4 minutes to play.
The bounce taken by Murphy, trying to gain possession cleanly. Could have perhaps been Port holding the ball, but umpire Mackey, the second option, and the bounce just outside 50.
The runners will be busy. Glenelg will build walls. Port will try to attack.
Here's Murphy once again. Quick kick. Jamieson. Was he held? No. Fiarchi, the hand pass away to Mark Williams, and again jarred out of play. So just outside 50, 11 points in at the Tigers lead in front of 30+ thousand here at Football Park.
Time being eroded by Glenelg, and that's the key now. McDermott will run onto it. What will he do? Generally something useful. It's a high up and under. Phillips and Fidge will get the ride. Now there's a player down behind play. The mark has been taken by Phillips. It was Brown. There's 50. Or no, it's not. He'll still with Phillips. Across the face, northeast. Over his head. He's got to run at it. And Glenelg still with a chance. Simons. Christie. What can he do? From 50, long kick. No mark taken in the goal square. Mansell tried to kick it off the ground, and again. Hallahan round the corner, and at long last Hallahan got it. No, he's missed. It's got to go back. It's a free kick.
To Mansell for Glenelg, and he'll be kicking from about 1 metre. There's the incident. Fiarchi did everything, including leg rope the cow.
Well, he was desperate, George Fiarchi. So this surely would be a goal, and surely the sealer, as Mansell has had 5 kicks. This is his 6th. And gets it. And surely that's the sealer now. 27 minutes. Glenelg 16-14, Port 14-9.
Well, a very hard but fair contest in the second semi-final at Football Park, and a match-winning quarter by the Bays in the third where they booted 6. They ran out winners by 11 points, 16-14 to Port Adelaide, 15-9. For the Tigers, Fidge starred with 6 goals, Murphy 3, Chigwitten 2, and for Port Adelaide, Hodges booted 7. Ginniver, Wanganeen, Mark Williams, Tregenza, Hines, Brown, Hutton and Boyd 1 apiece. After the match, Darryl Hicks spoke with Graham Corns and Mark Aston caught up with Russell Johnston.
Well, Graham, finals are a different game. They bring a crowd and they bring action. It must have been a testing game for the players.
I don't think there's any doubt, Darryl. I mean, there's all sorts of pressure on them, and indeed they put a lot of pressure on themselves because it is a finals game, and it's a huge bonus if you can win and go straight into a grand final. But as well as that, there's maximum commitment from both sides. There'd been a lot of pressure on both teams, and I think both teams responded admirably well, even though it probably wasn't a classic display of skills. It was certainly a good display of guts and courage, and even Port Adelaide, the way they came back, they kept coming back at us, and they performed creditably too.
Well, your normal stars were there like David Marshall and Chris McDermott, but Alan Bartlett in the last line and then in key positions, and Nicholas Chigwitten both gave you a big lift.
Yeah, we've been waiting for that game from Chiggy for a while, and he came on the ground for us last week and got to the action and gave us some run, but he just didn't make the maximum use of the opportunities he got to take the ball. Today, everything went well for him, and he just gave us the run and the sharp take of the ball, clean take with the hands that we needed. Barty was very good, and as he's been solid all year, if not spectacular, and he did the job that we asked him to do, and then had an extra opportunity playing in the key position, which he handled well as well. And
Clayton Lamb must be a risk for the grand final.
Well, we'll give him every chance. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's unfortunate, you know, isn't football strange and cruel? But we'll see how it cools down. And he's got 2 weeks of intensive treatment to see how it comes up, and we'll give him every chance.
Well, good luck. Congratulations today. You're in the grand final, and anything can happen in the big one.
Exactly right.
Well, Russell, there hasn't been a lot between these two sides all season, and again today there wasn't much between them, on the scoreboard at least.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be tough, but the scoreboard didn't do the Bays justice, I don't think.
A lot of players, as far as Port Adelaide was concerned, seemed to be down. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we had players down all around the ground, and lose by 11 points, I suppose, it was pretty good, really, when we consider we could have a lot of players that could lift.
Well, particularly in the centre, Marshall did so well.
Yeah, they cleaned the ball out of centre pretty well. I never had an effective tap at it. Marshall played well. Our Rovers were probably beaten, you know.
Darren Smith at centre half forward.
Yeah, down.
And what about Rowan Smith? How did you see his game? Well, he was taken from the ground, of course.
Yeah, we started off pretty well, but yeah, he was pretty well beaten as well.
Well, you got off to a good start. What happened from there?
Oh, well, I mean, you've seen the game as much as me. You know, I mean, you know, we knew the Bays were a good side, and you know, they'd played last week, and probably they're a bit more match hardened than us. And we thought it'd take a while to run the cobwebs out, but in the end, I thought we gutsed it out pretty well in the end, but they were just too strong.
Russell, on the positive, Hodges played superbly, and what did you think of Fiarchi's game?
Yeah, Fiarchi and Hodges are probably our best players today, and I mean, like I say, we've got a lot of players down. We've got to regroup now and see how we can go next week.
Well, is this a disadvantage to the Port Adelaide Football Club playing next week?
Oh, not necessarily. I mean, it's nice to have the week's rest, but you know, we've got to go through the back door now. We've got no, that's out of our control. So,
who would you prefer to play, north or south?
Well, that's out of our control too. So we'll just see who wins tomorrow.
All the best next week.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Russell Johnston with Mark Aston at Football Park, and it's grand final day tomorrow in the WA State League. The Claremont Tigers up against Swan Districts, coached by John Todd. And let's now have a look at a preview of tomorrow's grand final from the ABC Sports Department in Perth.